Welcome to the Off-Grid Podcast, powered by Retreat Caravans. Join us as we dive into the incredible stories of caravanners who've embraced the open road and the off-grid lifestyle. Welcome to another episode of the Off-Grid Podcast, powered by Retreat Caravans. And today I've got the pleasure of speaking to two of our customers and Instagram sensations. They go by the name of Explore Straya, otherwise known as Brent and Tara. How are you guys?
Yeah, good, thanks.
How you going, mate?
Very, very good. Now, where are you guys nestled up in? I can see that you're in a caravan, but whereabouts in Australia are you?
We're in WA, Perth-based most of the time.
So you guys are actually within the city of Perth?
South of Perth, down near Mandurah is probably the closest point that people would know.
Yep.
So about 45 minutes to an hour south of Perth.
Beautiful area, I hear, Mandurah.
Yep.
Shout out to all of our Mandurah fans listening. You know, luxury RVs, you guys keep fighting a good fight for us. Now, guys, I know a little bit about you. But why don't you tell the people who are listening on this podcast a little bit about you and your history in camping and caravanning, I guess, where it all started?
Myself, I grew up in a country town, Jurien Bay. It's about 3 hours north of Perth, on a farm there. So growing up on a farm, obviously out in the bush, sort of camping and all that came hand in hand with being on the farm. So as I grew older, I went from camping on the beach in a swag to then a tent, then a camper trailer, and then finally a caravan. So
progressively it got bigger as the time went, I guess, in your experience.
Yeah, I think age has a bit to do with that too.
Yeah.
As you get older, you want a bit more creature comfort. So, but yeah, the natural progression, everyone starts off in a swag or a rooftop tent or something, moves to a tent and camper trailer, and then, finally a caravan.
And can I ask, Brent, did you meet Tara by the campfire, or, is there something else that might happen here?
I wish I could tell you a romantic story about camping, but no.
No, okay. It was at a pub, wasn't it?
It wasn't at a pub. It was actually online.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so that's how romantic that is.
You know what? We might hold on to that one then for another episode. Off-grid, up late or something like that.
Off-grid online dating?
Off-grid online, yeah, I like that. Offline and off-grid. Yes. I like it.
Off-grid but still online.
Nice. And so Tara obviously came along, and then you guys started your camping or caravanning trips together?
Yeah, it's something we had in common. So it didn't take us long to do our first trip, and I didn't actually have a camp trailer or anything at that time. So we hired a caravan, and we went up north to Kalbarri and Coral Bay and Mucky Mire and all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. We were both like, we got to get a caravan and be able to do this as much as we can and whenever we want.
Absolutely. Now, Tara, yourself, where did your caravanning or camping or swagging journey start?
Yeah, well, I grew up in a small country town in Victoria.
Yeah, whereabouts?
So, in Casterton.
Casterton, okay.
Southwest, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
So I guess growing up, just living in a small country town, we had 4 acres on the outskirts of town. So I didn't really do camping so much growing up. I had a pony, so it was kind of like, hang out with your friends. And then on the weekends, it was, doing pony club and getting out into nature, that side of things. So,
And what was the pony's name, if you don't mind me asking?
It was Casper.
Casper. Was it a white pony?
It was, yeah.
Makes sense.
Makes sense, yeah. He was a little 12-hand Welsh mountain pony. So, I wanted to rescue a pony, so we got him from a knackery and, fattened him up, and, it was fun. So, So, my background, I guess, being a country girl, and, we live in Perth now, but anyone that knows WA and Perth, Perth isn't really a busy city. I was scared the first time I moved here. I'm like, I'm a country girl, a small town of 2,000 people coming to Perth. Oh, my God, but once you're here, it isn't really that scary. And, it's very spread out here, so you've got lots of land to discover over here, which is great.
Yeah, nice. Well, obviously you guys are starting to camp now in a caravan, which is really good. But Brent, I want to talk about the rig. And I ain't talking about your torso, mate, although, I've seen some photos on Instagram and absolutely. You got a decent rig. But what do you tow around your caravan with? Because it's quite impressive.
Yeah, it's Ram 1500. It's a DS crew cab 2021 model with the Hemi V8 and the 8-speed auto. So, yeah, it's awesome. It looks awesome. It tows awesome. It's comfortable to drive. I can't say a bad thing about it, to be honest. My biggest gripe with the whole car is probably that the volume knob for the stereo is on the left-hand side because it's been converted. Other than that, it's amazing. Went through. We got 3-inch lift in that, 35-inch tires, Mantra exhaust system, a few other bits and pieces. So, and
we'll touch on that a little bit later on because I think you are a little bit of a, I guess, a car guy. But I've got to ask Tara. Tara, which rig do you like better, Brent or the actual car itself?
Late night show, or do you want to discuss that now?
Listen, we can keep it MA. At least I think, I don't know if I've got many PG viewers, but MA is all right.
Yeah,
it's all right. It's all right. You can say
on par, probably.
On par. That's fair enough. Depending on when the engine's been running hot or not, right?
Yeah, true.
Now, I must say, your caravan and your car, I've seen it on Instagram. They actually are very compatible. Now, I don't know if this was by luck or it's just, planned like that. The decals on the caravan match the car. Was there any sort of thought process in that?
Yeah, for sure. Like, obviously, the Ram on its own stands out with the bright red colour. And, when we saw the new design of the Retreat, and obviously there's a few colours to choose, we had to make it match because obviously the purple or the blue, it wasn't gonna flow through to the car. So red it was, and I think that's what stands out with our setup. I think. For sure.
Does it go faster? Does red go faster?
It goes faster, and the graphics on the Retreat now, the way they splash up the side, that helps with the speed increase as well. So
of course,
it's really good. Yeah. No, seriously though, one thing when we were looking at caravans was Tara did not want a white caravan.
Yeah.
She did not want a Jayco or anything that looked remotely like a Jayco.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing. So the grey and the red and new graphics, there's a whole setup that turns heads.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, it's good to be a head turner. So, if you see these guys on the road, make sure you try keep up with them, if you can catch them, but give them a bit of a wave. Now, you guys mentioned before about, picking the right color scheme and all that sort of stuff. You guys are obviously either been doing a bit of off-grid camping or planning to do some more trips, which we'll get to in a second. What was some of the thoughts about getting a off-grid caravan? Because, you can have it nice and shiny with, red stickers or whatever it might be, but, that's not going to save you out in the bush or whatever it might be. So what are some of the key concepts that you were thinking about? If I'm going off-grid for longer, I need to have X, Y, Z. Take us through that.
Yeah, well, I had a bit of a must-have list when we were starting to look at the caravan, and we definitely wanted to steer away from caravan parks, for a reasonable amount of the time, and do our own thing. So lithium batteries were a must, and a reasonable amount of lithium.
And what have you guys got at the moment in your van?
So with the Fraser, when we bought the Fraser, you had I think it was the Fraser pack, the upgrade pack.
Yep.
So that was the extra 225 amp hour lithium battery, so 450 amps of lithium, and another 2 solar panels. So it was like 630 watts of solar, and the 3,000 watt red arc inverter. So for me, that ticked all those boxes that I wanted, and especially with the battery system and the solar, I believe they need to match. There's no point having a huge battery system and not having the solar to be able to charge that up.
Yeah, and that's a good point, Brent, because a lot of people think that, if they go a little bit longer, let's just add an extra solar panel on there. The solar panel will help charge the battery that you've got, but if you're using an inverter, now I know for fact you're a coffee man, right? Because I do watch you're a coffee man. And if you want to power that coffee machine up wherever you might be, you need to have an inverter, of course. And in order for the inverter to be useful, of course, you need to have that additional battery power.
Yeah, that's right. So, and like you said, you can't just have a huge battery bank. You can't just have extra solar. You've got to balance that. If you've got a massive battery bank, you've got to be able to have the solar to be able to put back into that battery bank if you do run that battery bank down. So if you've got only 1 or 2 solar panels and you've got 800 amps of lithium, it's going to take you days and days to try and put that back in. That's without using it, and if you've got sunny days.
Absolutely. It's like charging your iPhone with a $2 charger. It's going to take forever, isn't it? We've all been there, let's be honest.
So that was one thing. The other was water, capacity, water storage was a big thing for us, especially with Tara in the shower. So we're not the most water conservative people.
Well, I think that I have quick showers, but then when I get out, it's like, yeah, the grey water tank's like pretty much nearly full. I'm like, what? I was like so quick.
So can I give you a hack, right? You know what I do? When I have a shower, I actually play music. So I know when I've listened to a song, on average, a song's about 4 minutes. So if I go to song number 2, I've been in there too long. So I don't know if you want to incorporate that into the nightly ritual.
I need to get one of those little egg timer things that with the suction thing.
Yes.
I think you can get like 3-minute ones or 1-minute ones, and turn it upside down. I'm like, I'll just.
Well, I used to be known as the 2-minute with Tilly guy, you know. So if you plan your showers around all my episodes, they might go for 2 minutes.
Yeah, so that's probably one of our. Yeah, we're not the most water conservative. I do have a water bladder we chuck in the back of the Ram. It's another 200 or 250 litres. But yeah, the grey water tank side of it, we've found that if we are a little bit exuberant with the water, we fill the grey water tank in.
Oh, you do? And how does that work? So for people that have never filled a grey water tank to use it as a water tank, how does that actually work?
So, well, the grey water tank is your wastewater, so from your sink, from your shower and all that sort of stuff. So what you use in the shower goes in the grey water tank, and that's mainly for storage for when you're in a national park or somewhere you've got to take all your waste with you, you know. Yep. So we found, if we go somewhere for a few nights, we're in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Tara, yourself, planning for the off-grid caravan, being the phrase that you guys have, you know, Brent's told us about the inverter and the solar panels and obviously the water capacity. Did you have any input into the conversation, or were you mainly the stylist? Because your caravan looks pretty shit hot, if I must say.
I think for a start, like we both discussed, it was mainly about what type of caravan with the structure. I think that was probably our starting point was, you know, timber, aluminium, and then obviously we knew about the retreat with the RXP walls. So that was the biggest thing. And I think the biggest thing we wanted to steer away from was timber frame. And that was only because of rot. I think deep down we're just like, oh, what happens if, you know, it does leak or the rot does come in, you know, over years of time. And so that was probably the starting point where we actually did start with the structure. And I guess for me, I do, like, as Brett touched on, I do like modern design, so hence why with the outside and then with the inside we do have quite a modern feel as well. So I was probably definitely the stylist, probably just not knowing all the, you know, all the technical side of things, but you know, I definitely knew like some things. It's like, okay, well, what do we, you know, with the inverter, like we need that because we need the coffee machine. And, you know, I don't use my hairdryer. I'm not too much of a princess, but, you know, just having those creature comforts.
But I see you're learning as well, because I do follow you guys quite often on Instagram, and, you know, you're keeping people engaged about what Brent's doing and you're learning yourself. So I guess even if you don't have that aspect of knowing what to do in an off-grid lifestyle, it's quite easy to learn. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like when Brent's kind of doing the, like, setting up the caravan and stuff, I'm kind of more watching than anything, but I probably need to get more hands-on with that side of thing. But I think Brent kind of just knows what he's doing, and I feel like sometimes I'm in the way. I'm just like, okay, I'll start setting up the inside of the van when we pull up, and then he's kind of doing the outside and doing all that stuff. But yeah, it's probably good for me, I guess. Like I probably need to learn a few bits and pieces more for sure.
I think starting with emptying the toilet for Tara would probably be the best starting point.
Big job.
Well, I pick up the dog poo, so I said you either, like, which one do you want to do?
I'll put it this way: if you get that job wrong, let me tell you, it's messy.
Yeah. I haven't got it wrong yet. I did do a lot of research to make sure I got that right the first time.
Well, Tara, I'll pass the baton on to you, right? I'm pretty much finished with 2 minutes with Tilly. If you want to do some tutorials for people learning about caravans, how about we start up 2 minutes with Tara?
Yeah, why not?
Got a ring to it.
It does have a ring to it. Now,
you said that you're the designated picker-up of the dog poo. You've got a travel companion, don't you?
We do, yeah. So little Buddy is his name. Yeah, so
little Buddy?
Just Buddy. Yeah, well, he's really long. So when we got him, like, we wanted to rescue a dog. Yeah. We ended up finding him off Gumtree in the end.
That's all right.
essentially rescue him.
Yeah, he
from a
was
home.
rescued, wasn't that?
Yeah, so
Greatly
he's
looked after, but
so he's a sausage dog cross Ridgeback. So a lot of
Okay.
people laugh at him. He looks like a cartoon dog, big head, long body, short legs.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Looks like
he's
one
a
of my
really-
mates, actually. He's got a big head and he's long.
yeah, he looks like if you had a 6-inch lifted ram with standard tires. So
Great analogy.
yeah, but he's a character. And when everyone says, "What is he?" and you say he's a sausage dog cross with a Ridgeback, they all give you that weird look like, "Did you guys do that?"
Yeah.
No, we didn't do that. We
And
didn't have anything to do with the creation.
And then we're like, the mum was the sausage dog as well,
So,
FYI.
yeah.
But yeah, poor mum. But yeah,
Well, I still have plans to cross a bulldog with a Shih Tzus, so we'll see how that pans out.
But yeah, he's definitely one of a kind character.
Yeah,
That's good.
that is-
Now, you take him on all your adventures, and like I was alluding to before, you guys have gone to some good places in your short stint with your retreat caravan, and I'm sure you've gone to other places with your campers or, just generally swagging it as well. Where's some of the most memorable places that you've been? Because some of the content that you've put up is amazing, but like, where would you say your top 3 places you've been to together?
Top 3.
Well, definitely Ningaloo. I think the Ningaloo coastline. I think for us, we love snorkeling and we went up to Turquoise Bay. Like, you can't take your dog specifically to Turquoise Bay. We didn't have the dog at the time then, but that is our next trip, which obviously we'll touch on later. But the coastline up there is just magical, and you see so many other people on Instagram and socials, which you'll see the water is amazing up there.
And there's a lot of spots along that Ningaloo coast there, from Sandy Cape to 14 Mile to Windarabandi. Yep. There's lots, and then there's also Coral Bay in the middle there. So if you do want to stay at a caravan park or something like that and have all the amenities, you got Coral Bay, and we have stayed there. And we stayed there. Coral Bay is busy. It's just basically a couple of caravan parks and a hotel on the beach.
Yep.
And it's chockers. But we drove probably, half an hour, 45 minutes on some 4 drive tracks south, and we ended up in a bay all to ourselves for probably half a day.
How romantic.
We went down onto the beach, pulled up on the beach, and enjoyed the Ningaloo coast right there on our own. So Ningaloo is probably one of the top ones.
Esperance.
Esperance is beautiful in the summer. The water down there is amazing.
Yeah.
Is that where you get to see all that like greeny blue water with all the drone footage that people post up?
It's a lot of that's from down there.
Yeah. They've got kangaroos on the beach at Lucky Bay. It's just beautiful. But it is really cold down there. So anyone who hasn't been down there, you definitely need to go in summer for sure.
Have you been to the Pink Lake? Because there's a few of them in WA, isn't there?
Esperance, it says that it's a pink lake, but it's actually not pink.
No.
Not even green lake, so.
Misleading.
Port Gregory is just outside of Kalbarri. There's a pink lake there. And that's where a lot of people get footage there.
I think it's Hutt Lagoon. So that's a really, really big lake. So we have been there on our way
we
back.
took our caravan to the Pink Lake, and I think it was actually at Port Gregory. I'm not sure if people have seen it on WhatsApp Down Under, but we definitely saw the Pink Lake up that way.
Yeah, that is the one,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And now you guys, we talked about before planning trips, right? And you guys have got a couple of short trips and a longer trip planned. Why don't you tell me a little bit more about that?
So the short trips that we do pretty local, but we've got one coming up in September, which is back up to the Ningaloo coast, along the Ningaloo coast. We've got a few spots we haven't been to. One of them is just out of Kalbarri. It's called Murchison House Station. It's actually a working sheep and cattle station.
Yes.
So you can go there and you can camp on the Murchison River.
Yep.
So we're going to go try that out. I haven't been there before. I've heard lots about it, heard great stories. So we're going to go have a look at that and check that out. Work our way up the coast a bit more to 14 Mile. Now, 14 Mile is you camp right on the beach, basically. So
on the beachfront.
It is right on the beach. So you walk out of your caravan, you walk into the ocean.
How cool is that?
It's amazing. And it's pet friendly up there, so you can take your dogs. So that's one good thing for us. We got a quick stop in Coral Bay after that to get a few necessities, water and all that sort of stuff. And then up to Windarabandi.
Some extra coffee pods, maybe?
If needed.
Stack them up.
we do burn through a few. And then Windarabandi. So Windarabandi I've never been to. Always wanted to go for years. It's like the iconic spot on the Ningaloo coast. Once again, dog friendly. So I can't wait to get there. That's the same thing. You pull up on the beach. that's a bit more of a challenging track to get in there from what I've heard. So it
Yeah.
can be boggy at times. But
Well, you've definitely got the rig and the van to do it with, right?
yeah, definitely. So
Yeah.
that's the little one in September. And then on the way back down, we're thinking about a few little spots that we can do,
Like
Quabba Station and a few others. So we haven't really locked in much for on the way back down yet. We're sort of researching and doing a bit of thinking. We may just wing it. We'll see what happens.
The best memories are made winging it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's half the fun part. And we've got the
Yeah.
off-grid caravan, so plenty of power. So if we end up winging it and we're like, oh, where are we going to stay? We can easily just pull up somewhere for a night.
Like
Easy.
they say, you live where you park it, right?
Yeah.
So no, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And later in the year, you've got another trip planned. Is that right?
Yeah, so later in the year, we want to do the trek over to Victoria. So my family, Victoria's. So we need to go over there, and my parents are over there. So I haven't been back home for a while.
It's a bit of a nervous trip for me.
What is that?
Meeting the parents.
Seeing the in-laws again?
Yeah.
No, meeting him. I've never met him.
Oh, you've never met her parents?
No.
Wow.
So pressure's on. Pressure is on.
Please, Tara, make sure you've got like video footage of this.
Oh yeah, I will. You'll be like
Yeah.
switching bullets, 10 copies down. It'll be pretty funny.
What happens if they don't like you?
Oh, come on. Like,
Well,
what's
listen, it's as much. There's as much chance of the parents not liking you as there is Carlton making the finals. Bugger all chance.
The problem with that, I don't know what you mean by that. I can honestly say I don't watch any football, so
Oh, really?
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, you're from Perth, and I'm going to take a punt saying that you follow West Coast Eagles. So it's probably a good thing if you followed West Coast Eagles. Yeah, don't watch any footy.
Yeah.
Now you are going to come to Victoria. Are we going to get a cheeky little visit down at Retreat Caravans?
Yeah, well, that's the plan. So we haven't locked in any accommodation or dates. I know you've come back to us with some dates, so we need to touch base on that. But we definitely want to come all the way up to see you guys.
Yep.
So
we'll be down on the Great Ocean Road. So that's something I've never done. Tara's done that. So
Beautiful.
being from over there, I've never done Great Ocean Road, and to be honest, I've never done anything really over there. So.
If it makes you feel any better, Brent, I've never done any of those amazing trips that you're talking about with, in Esperance and Lucky Bay and all that sort of stuff. So, I think we can both help each other out in time.
Yeah. Yeah. So coming up to see you guys would be awesome. I'd love to see the factory and see the process and how things are made. And I think you guys have got some amazing ideas and innovative, designs and things like that I'd love to be able to see the process. So.
Yeah, we'd love to show it to you because, every now and then we do factory tours for customers that are in Victoria, and they're truly blown away with, how a caravan starts at just a chassis, and then we do the walkthrough. What takes 10 minutes, walking through ends up being, a completed chassis or a near completed chassis. And they're like, wow, we didn't think it was that involved, with people and, hands-on labor. But it's quite a, appealing thing to do if you're in Victoria.
Yeah, so that'll be on our cards when we cruise over there. So cruise across the Nullarbor. There's a few spots along the way there. And then looking forward to doing the Great Ocean Road. Like that's done that a couple of times, as Brent said, and it's just beautiful over there.
So you're going to be going from WA eventually all the way to Victoria, right? And now you might be doing, like you said, some off-grid. You might be staying at some caravan parks. For anyone who's actually looking at purchasing a caravan, irrespective if it's an off-grid or a highway caravan, touring caravan, what are some of the creature comforts that you got to have in a caravan, in your opinion?
I think even when I don't know, it wasn't in this one, but when we've had one before and we've stopped off on the side of the road to have lunch, and it was a stinking hot day, and we actually put the aircon on. And that was, really, really handy just to have that.
Yeah, that was this one.
Yeah, it was this one.
Yeah, it was our first trip. So in the battery, once again, battery, solar, inverter, I think is
a necessity.
You have, in my opinion, you have to have it. There's no point. I don't understand the point of getting a caravan that doesn't have an inverter.
Yeah,
you have to. Like Tara said, we pulled up on the side of the road just to have lunch while we're traveling. Got in the van, turn the aircon on. It's awesome. You turn the aircon on, turn the kettle on, the coffee machine, turn the coffee machine on, start cooking lunch in the aircon on the side of the road. Just it's to me,
it's very convenient, right? That's all it is. It's just super convenient. You've taken the terminology of a house on wheels. Legit, it is a house on wheels. You can do what you want with it.
Yeah. We don't have to worry about going, oh, we need to find, like, if we don't have food here or whatever, we're like, oh, we need to find like a servo or something. And WA is very spread out, so it's not always easy to, it's like 20 minutes down the road. Like, you've got to think an hour or 2 hours like ahead of time. Whereas, in Victoria, everything's close together, so it's easy just to stop wherever. But here we've got everything that we need. We can pull up wherever we want, and just pop in the caravan, and it's just like, oh yeah, it's easy.
So inverter is a must-have. Then I guess it's up to people's personal preference what they have to have and what they don't have to have. Comfy bed.
Have you guys got an outdoor kitchen?
No, we don't. I've got the Weber-Q.
Okay,
so sit that on the table under the awning and do most of our cooking out there in the Weber. So that's probably our most utilised.
And how is he as a chef, Tara, or is it Tara does the cooking as well?
No, Brent is the master chef of this family. So, that's kind of his thing. So, kind of he cooks, I clean.
I have looked at those slide-out kitchens that Dometic do, and thought that might be a good upgrade. I still wanted somewhere to put the baby Q or the Weber Q. Yeah. But I have looked at them, and I thought I could make myself a little top for that slide-out kitchen and still be able to put my barbecue on top of it. So that's maybe something we will do down the track.
I've seen a lot of creative custom kitchens where you pull it out and they've got a sink, a burner, and also incorporate the barbecue, like the Weber Q as well. Yeah. So there's a lot of them out and about. And back to the caravan inside. Now, you guys were saying you had the heater on earlier. So not every caravan comes standard with a gas heater, I believe.
Yeah, we when we thought about the caravan, we're like, oh, we won't need a heater. It was one of those things. We're like, oh, we'll be fine because Brent runs pretty hot. In terms of like when we, like he's like my hot water bottle when
I got that as well. I read between the lines.
So the heater was one thing that we're like, oh no, we probably won't need it, and we opted with it, and it's been one of those things that we are so glad that we got it.
Yeah, it's raining at the moment, and it was cold here this morning. Got up, turned the heater on, and it's amazing, and especially down south, Esperance trip, all that sort of stuff that we did. The heater is something now we wouldn't get a caravan without the heater. And I know that probably sounds a bit precious or something, but to the creature comfort of being able to wake up in the morning, it's freezing cold outside and the van floor is cold and that, you just reach over and turn the heater on for 10 minutes and then get out.
It doesn't take long at all, does it?
Yeah, like it just, like literally 10, 15 minutes and you can just turn it off.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Brent, you know how Tara said, it's a bit hot with Brent. That's why we put fire extinguishers in the caravan, right?
I'm gonna order the next one with one in my bedside pocket.
In the little nook there? In the little nook?
Yeah, just so it's gotcha. Handy getting down, walking down the other end of the caravan for it.
Gotcha. We'll leave it at that. We'll save that one for the next episode. Up late. Nah, cool. Well, guys, is there anything else that you want to let me know that you've got as far as plans goes? Because your footage on your Instagram page is amazing, and I know from speaking with you guys are really invested into getting some good content out there for anyone following your page. And if anyone does want to follow your page, give yourselves a shout out. Where do they find you?
So our name is explore_Straya. So just make sure that you spell that right. So Straya. So a bit of a slang word there. Give us a shout out. I would love for you guys to jump along and check out our journey. Like, we love following other people's journey, and it gives us ideas as well to kind of bounce back. We've had people message us that want to plan a trip with us next year. Cool. They've got dogs as well, so we can kind of go to those places that are dog friendly. So it's like this little community which I think everyone likes to support each other, and they're interested in what other people are doing. So give us a shout out for sure. We'd love to hear your stories and even meet up along the way. It would be great.
100%. And you're on Instagram and Facebook, or just Instagram?
Yeah, on both, and TikTok as well.
So Instagram's our main sort of account, but we do have TikTok and Facebook, and in the future there will be YouTube coming, so I'm working on getting all that sorted out. We got some new camera gear and video editing stuff, so I'm getting my head around that.
Watch your space. Watch this space.
Yeah, definitely. And the idea behind there is to give people a bit more information about caravans and our van, the retreat as such, which is one thing I think I've touched on before. when we were looking at the caravans, I researched everything. So I watched every video, went to so many shows, and
Stop! You're going to make me blush now. You're going to make me blush.
But,
see, hot.
But when I was looking on the net, I didn't find a huge amount about retreat. So when we bought this, I'm like, you know what? I want to do a few videos on retreat. There's retreat stuff from yourself and from, you know, salespeople and things like that, but an actual customer who's invested in a retreat. I think the feedback's great for other people. And at the moment, I don't have a negative thing to say, which is good.
And I didn't slip you a 50 either, did I?
No. And that's the thing. We bought this caravan. It wasn't something, you know, that was given to us or anything like that. We, you know, it's a lot of money, and we researched and we made this decision solely on, you know, our own. And like we said before, that decision was made on, you know, this battery system and that as well, but also Retreat as a brand. The RXP walls that Tara mentioned with the lifetime warranty on the wall construction and rot. Huge tick for us. Composite floor, one-piece roof, and the ARB chassis, all Australian made. All that stuff ticked all of our boxes. And the
gives you that peace of mind, right?
Yeah. And the final clencher was luxury RVs. We went in there and we felt so comfortable. And so, what's the word I'm looking for?
You just felt comfortable and secure that you were getting, it wasn't just, okay, here's your van, you know, they weren't just talking the talk. Like, you got that support after we got the van as well. So, Luke in particular, great guy.
Champion bloke. I want to get him on one of these podcasts as well, because I know he does a bit of traveling as well with his family.
So that was why we bought the retreat, and that's sort of something I want to put out there as well. So give other people, you know, a bit of info.
Obviously, on this show, you know, we don't advocate just the retreat caravans. It's about the, you know, the off-grid lifestyle. But thank you very much for those kind words, and I guess thank you for putting out all of that content. And again, if you want to follow Brent and Tara, follow them on explore_Straya, STRAYA. I was listening on Instagram, Facebook, and soon to be on YouTube. So, guys, thank you very much for joining us on the Off Grid podcast, and hopefully we can see ourselves together off the grid. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Off Grid podcast. If you're passionate about off-grid adventures and have a unique story, we'd love to have you on as a guest. Connect with us to share your experiences and inspire others with your off-grid journey. Remember, life is an adventure meant to be lived off the grid. Don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories, helpful tips, and exciting adventures. This is the Off Grid podcast, powered by Retreat Caravans.